In early 2022, former Disney CEO Bob Chapek contacted Governor Ron DeSantis to express his concern over Florida's new education bill that bans the teaching of gender identity to young children. DeSantis revealed details of the conversation in a chapter of his new memoir. Why do people write memoirs? It's interesting when they write it. It's typically before they make a big decision. The Courage to Be Free, Florida's blueprint for American revival. Chapek reportedly told DeSantis that he was getting a lot of pressure weighing against the bill, stating, "We get pressured all the time, but this time is different. I haven't seen anything like this before." The Parental Rights and Education Bill, which was passed in March of 2022, prohibits teachers from discussing sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Chapek expressed his opinion to the bill, stating that if it were to be passed, it could be used to unfairly target gay, lesbian, non-binary, and transgender kids and families. DeSantis wrote, ultimately, Bob Chapek and Disney caved to the leftist media and activists' pressure and pressed a false narrative against the bill, which, by the way, that leads to the next story. New York Post, Governor DeSantis signs bill placing Disney District under state control. This is a February 27th story, just yesterday. He has signed a bill that rebrands Disney's self-governed Reedy Creek Improvement District as the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, which will now be under the state control, ending Disney's near autonomous control over the area. The bill gives DeSantis the power to appoint the members of a 5-person oversight board for the special district, which was previously held by Disney. DeSantis stated that the move will bring accountability to Disney's operation in the district and that it would not lead to any additional tax burden on Floridians. The move comes after a month-long feud between DeSantis and Disney over the state's Don't Say Gay bill law, which bars discussions of gender identity, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead, Adam. Thoughts on the story?
Well, I'm going to give DeSantis praise and then maybe some criticism here. I've been pretty vocal that I'm definitely more supportive of him than other candidates that are potentially running on the right. I think everything comes down to optics. I mean, if the bill was called the Parental Rights of Education Bill, and then when it came out to marketing or backlash against the bill, it somehow turned into the Don't Say Gay bill. That's not the name of the bill. And, I don't have kids, but I'm pretty open that I'm very active in the role of my nephew. And, I don't want kindergartners learning about gender and identity. This is not anything that as a parent that I would want my kids even discussing in kindergarten. It's not anything that I think is inappropriate, and I think it's actually spot on by why you would want to do this. But also what Ron DeSantis, and I think it's worked for him, I don't know if it's going to backfire, he is leading the league in going in the culture wars, with the Don't Say Gay stuff, the LGBT stuff, the woke stuff. This is where woke goes to die. Critical race theory, that's DeSantis' playbook. He's going against the left in that ideology, and that's great. Here's my concern, Pat. So when you read that second story about placing Disney under state control, I don't know. When I hear the term under state control, that seems very government overreach, not free market approach that Republicans have basically prided themselves on since pre-Reagan days. So I'm wondering if that is going to come under some sort of backlash. That, to me, is not the free enterprise and freedom which he has basically made his name on. So I think at the end of the day, he needs to have a sit-down with Bob Iger, who's the new acting CEO of Disney. It's no longer the Chapek guy, and figure this out. Because once you become on the national stage and do run for president, I don't know if this is going to be a winning battle to go against Disney.
Well, this has been coming for a while, so let's step back to something you just summarized there, and let me offer another perspective. The area, the Reedy Creek Improvement District, once upon a time, Disney took this massive piece of Florida property and developed it for theme parks, and we all know where it was, Disney World and then Epcot and all the things that are around there. And it managed that area. Roads and all this kind of stuff were managed by Disney. It also got tax benefit. So what Disney is being told is, hey, Florida's going to manage this the same way we manage the land and the byways and highways and streets and the rest of the city. And you don't have your autonomous control over what goes happen in the area. And we're going to take a tax benefit away from you. So basically what they're doing is every city out there that's ever tried to attract a manufacturer Like Toyota in Tennessee was given tremendous tax benefits to build your factory here and create jobs. Mercedes in Alabama, and. Disney, once upon a time, was given a tax benefit and says, come make jobs here. Come build your
They were
stuff
almost
here.
their own country.
That's exactly right.
That's the difference. And that's not common with anybody.
Because
they have their own guidelines.
Yeah,
Because
very common in the Native
Correct.
American communities.
Because now,
It's huge here in Florida. So there is some.
But Native
Cases
American
for it.
has a reason for it because it's a way of a reparation, the negotiation they had, versus Disney is, hey, that's what was similar to what L. Ron Hubbard negotiated Scientology to be a religion. It's the same way Disney negotiated for their land to be their own country, essentially.
Gotcha.
So
well,
here-
are you saying
here's
that
my last
Disney's making
point.
a case to start the religion of Disney?
They already have one. So my last point here to wrap it up so people can see it. But when Toyota comes to
Joking. I thought you were
Tennessee,
being serious.
it's an established area. When Toyota came to Tennessee, it was an established
Got
town.
me.
When Mercedes came to Alabama, it was an established location. When Disney was first given this, it was a swamp where they had a plan to build a city and all the stuff that went with it. So now, all those years later, DeSantis is saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to do this anymore. You're not going to be your own country, your own thing. We're going to manage this area the same way we manage everything else in the state of Florida.
But let me ask you, because you bring up a great point. What was the impetus for him doing this? Wasn't it because Disney and Bob Chapek took the lead on these culture wars that I was speaking about? And this is sort of punishment to say, keep talking shit, Disney, and we're going to see what we're going to do with your tax benefits.
Well, I would summarize it. I would say I believe you're on the right track with that. And I think it goes like this. Hey, Disney, you know what? Thanks for nothing. And for 20 years, we've been talking about your special privileged district here and talking about changing it. Guess what, dude? That change happens today. So was it a little retaliatory? Yes, but this has been coming for a long time.
I think this is how I see it. I totally get what you're saying. I'm about debate, discourse. Let's talk. Let's hash it out, and then give the freedom to do what you want to do, and let the market decide whether they want to buy the product or not. Okay. However, here's a question. Say you have a new employee that works for you, and go 5 years from now, you're married with 2 kids. Okay. And this new employee of yours who's working for you, you're helping him, you're mentoring him. He comes to your house, okay? First time you let him in your house, your wife makes him a meal, and let's just say your wife is very attractive, and he says, oh, wow, Mary, you look great. Wow, Adam, you've got a beautiful wife. Good for you. You're like, okay, he's being friendly, no problem. All right. Next time he comes back, he says it again. Now, let's just say she's wearing a dress, and she says, oh, my God, look at that body of yours. You look beautiful. No problem. You're like, okay, little too much. Next time she comes, she says, I can't believe how beautiful your lips are. And you're like, okay.
Easy, buddy.
There's a little bit you're going, okay, so watch what happens next. Watch what happens
I don't
next.
like the direction you're going.
But
here,
I'm going to
boss.
tell you exactly where I'm going with this. So the next
not
time,
you.
at this point, you're kind of like, okay, this is first of all, I'm letting you in my house.
Yeah.
Then the next time he kisses your wife on the cheek, but a little too close, okay?
Like a Kamala.
And the hug of the
Biden.
hand is slightly lower, okay? And at this point, you're sitting there saying, all right, bro, we got to have a conversation, okay? So then your kids are with him, and he's playing with your kids, and he's getting a little bit too much, out of control. The following time, his comments are getting worse and worse and worse. At what point do you say, get the hell out of my house? What the hell are you doing? What is the matter with you? You've crossed the line. There is no more respect. Here's what Disney's done over the years. Disney was a place where families went to have fun. No politics, no nothing. We went to have fun. Gradually, they went from saying, hey, Adam, your kids are beautiful kids. Thank you. Hey, kids, you don't have to listen to your mom and dad, what they have to say. You're a kid. You may be more creative than them. Like, I'm not good. Hey, kids, how are you? You may be gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Listen, you've officially crossed the line, Disney, and here's what we have to do. You're being put into timeout. This is a form of a punishment for crossing the line and making it from a place of entertainment to the kids to wanting to indoctrinate and groom my kids. No, you're arrested, Disney. Here you go. So I'm fully supportive of what he did. I don't know how long this is going to be staying there. This needs to be a precedent for any other parks or places that are being built for kids to realize, don't mess with other people's kids. The moment you do that, you've officially pissed off moms and dads, and now you have a bunch of enemies that are not supportive of what you're doing. So I like what he did. I think he's shown his power moves. And quite frankly, his next job is going to go from being one state, which he raised $211 million for his job as a governor, which, by the way, we didn't say this last time. It was a record. No one's ever raised that kind of money before for governor, including, obviously, L.A., California was a bigger number when Meg Whitman was running. But it's a record for what he did.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.